What's the word, people? Welcome back to another episode of the W Number. I'm starting a little early because we got so much to talk about. I got a California PIRU blood. He's from Massachusetts, but he moved out there real young. His dedication to the culture and just his knowledge of the county and the OGs in California, just everything is just so dope. You guys are gonna really enjoy this. Anybody listening from California, man, shout out to you guys. Salute. Everything I've heard so far is pretty crazy, man. So I hope everybody enjoys this show. Please hit the like button on the way in. Like I said, we're a little bit early, so we're gonna start off. We're gonna talk about the California County Jail and just how crazy it is. They say it's worse than state, bro. So just go ahead, introduce yourself, brother, and just let them know where you came from and just a little bit about yourself and all that.
For sure, man. My name's Lil Slim from Eastside Fruit Town, Bompton, PIRU. Um, what I'm saying? I was pretty much, my mother was born in the island, but she migrated, what I'm saying, to the state of California back in the early 70s. She landed on 67th and Denker, which is considered, right now, at this point in time, rolling 60 hood. You know what I'm saying? So, throughout the course, as she was growing up, she saw it all, man. She was, in tune with everybody, pretty pretty much with all the reputables from her section. You know what I
Mm,
mean? And she pretty much, you know, saw it all, man. And she was, she wasn't gang banging like I was, pretty much telling the homie Maddie, you know what I'm saying? She wasn't gang banging, but she wasn't inside the house neither, you know what I'm saying? So she was a
word,
part of it, feel me?
word.
But she moved. My grandmother got tired of the violence that was escalating. It's really pretty much on the state of the city of Los Angeles. So she decided to migrate. Pretty much where her sister was out, located in the Bronx in New York. So she wanted to give her daughters and her son a better life.
Mm,
So she migrated. I would say like in 88, 89, she migrated to the Bronx. You know what I'm saying? She was there for about a year and a half. And, I had aunties and, I had an auntie who was out in Western Mass. So my grandmother, pretty much wanted to, live on her own. So she decided to take, that approach and just, move out to the West, Western Mass. And pretty much, the rest was history. My mom realized that my father came from out that way as well. But my father, he was pretty much in the Dago side, San Diego. He was pretty much down there.
mm.
So, my mom came out here and my father followed suit, you know what I'm saying? So they knew each other from back out west. And, the rest was history, man. And I was born and my brother was born. Then my, pops and mom, pretty much separated, but, he's still, pretty much still around. And that's how I came into play. But I still got relatives out there in the West Coast, as right now, you know what I'm saying? I got a whole bunch of them. Pretty much have like half my family's out there.
Word. So what I really want to get into, and I know we talked about this prior to this, is going into the California County Jail. Being were you a Pyru blood before you went to the county, or did you get down in the jail itself?
No, I was a fruit time pyro before I went into county.
Word.
Yeah, that usually happens before you even go into the system. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, word.
yeah,
So what was it like?
that's usually what happens. Like in different areas, people get jumped inside prison and they become what they are, but not out there. Everybody that goes into the county jail, well, LA County Jail,
Mm,
mainly all of them, what I'm saying? They're all predominantly already affiliated with a set before they even go in.
word. And so when you walk through the doors of the county jail, what's the process like in the politics? Do you get greeted by like a greeting crew that brings you to the OG and breaks down what it's like? Like what happens there, man? And then we'll get into like how the politics work and the violence and shit after. But I wanna
Mm.
know what it's like when you go in there.
Well, if there's an OG at the moment, and that's pretty much as far as with your neighborhood or whatever, with another neighborhood that you got, that your set is cool with, that's cool. But mainly, like you know, once you go to orientation and you pretty much get classified to go in, they ask you, who you affiliated with. If they don't have it, or if you don't have any tattoos, they'll pretty much ask, where you from, and you tell them specifically, oh, I'm from such and such. They're gonna probably, like, if you say you a PIRU or you a Damu, they're gonna throw you in a blood module. But there is certain Crips in there. You know what I'm saying? There is Crips in there. There's Hoovers in there. You know
Mm,
what I'm saying? But they're not gonna bring you into like they're not gonna bring you to an OG. They're pretty much, it's gonna be like, yo, we running this side, you know what I'm saying? And that's usually how that goes. But mainly since the CDC and the cops are so, they love seeing chaos and whatnot, you know what I'm saying? They're gonna probably throw you in a unit where, even though, there's it's predominantly operated by Bloods and and PIRUs. Remember, not all PIRUs and Damus get along.
mm,
So you're gonna have to catch your fades. You know what I'm saying? If there's a certain distinctive bloodhood in there that your neighborhood don't get along, you're gonna have to catch your fades. Pretty much, and catching fades is you're gonna have to fight.
mm.
You know what I
So do
mean?
you
You're gonna
fight each one individually, or do you get jumped by all of them at the same time? And why? Why, if they do fight you individually, why give you that? Why give you that?
um it all depends, you know what I'm saying? Like, if they want to get you real bad, you will get packed out and jumped in. But as far as yeah, you have to fight one on one.
Mm.
Usually they give they're pretty fair, and as far as what that goes, you know, because you're gonna have to fight whether you like it or not. You
But
know what I mean?
why only
Especially,
one on one though? Like out here, if you had smoke and it came into the block and it was gang smoke, like I'm almost 99% positive that they would jump on you like as deep as they could.
no, that could happen. That has happened, and it does happen. But you know what I'm saying? Like, if you were squabbling, and the home, the opposition is also a bunch of squabblers, they will fight you one on one until, but
Mm,
you have to fight all of them, all each and every one. As soon as
yeah.
you're done with one, you got to fight another one.
Mm. And so how does this stabbing work? If someone was to get stabbed, if someone was coming to the block and they had to get taken out, um,
Um,
how
you
would that work? Would the OG have to make that call and then it will come on down like that? And like what's the process with that?
usually, like, an OG could make that call, in the sense, like, if people are, like, if it's gonna go lead to a certain way where people are gonna get hurt, a OG could make a call. You know what I'm saying? A G homie could make a call and be like, nah, that ain't going down. But mainly when things like that escalate, like I said, not a lot of G homies are not in the county jail. They're
Mm,
up in they're up in the state. You know what I'm saying? So, but it does happen. You know what I'm saying? Like, a certain individual who has a certain amount of reputation and a large following could say, nah, that ain't going down. But mainly they want to see, especially if you're a first time offender,
mm,
the homies do want to see if you're really about it.
word. And so, as say I'm a gang member, I come in like obviously you're a Pyru and shit.
Mm.
Um, how's it work? Like you get introduced to the people in your set, and then like how do they dole out the missions? Like did they tell like first of all, someone asked the question, right? They said, "Can I pay my way into a gang without getting beat down?" By Kenneth Gilmore asked that.
Could they pay their way into a gang without getting beat down? As far
Yeah,
as what, like, becoming part of the set, or like how was he trying to?
I don't know. In any way, I guess.
Well, to be part of a neighborhood, you ain't gonna be able to pay your way, especially if you got some active guys that are there at the moment. You ain't gonna be able to pay your way, bro. Like that. That's usually, like, they're gonna see you as a somebody that got money, and you offering money. They're gonna probably, like, you know strong arm you to to pay up and whatnot. But as
Right.
far as becoming part of a neighborhood to pay, nah. Like, don't get me wrong, you got these punk, these stupid, rappers nowadays that pay to become, they paying people to say, they from certain, certain certain distinctive, set. But they don't, the homies in the street don't really care about them dudes, bro.
Mm. And so how does being a PIRU in Massachusetts County Jail compared to being one in California? Like, did the same rules apply?
I don't know about out here, but as far as I know, I've heard certain stories, from a few homies, that are West Coast affiliated. You know what I'm saying? When they land in there, land supposedly when they land in the county jails out here, they would try to house them, with the East Coast Bloods, because they're predominantly the ones who are overpopulating everybody out here. They try to house them together, but the politics are a little bit different. You know what I'm
Mm,
saying? Because I heard everybody out here mingles with one another, but out there you can, you could mingle, but it all depends on like if there's no bloodshed. You know what I'm saying? Or if a certain distinctive hood, is caught up in the middle.
mm.
Usually like if there's family ties, and yeah, but if there's not, usually like us, like we try to remain discreet and try to remain independent as much as possible, bro. Because we just especially out there, it's totally different than everybody anywhere else. I really, I don't know about it everywhere else, but as far as out there, bro, like the politics aspect of it, you know, it all comes down to like we're all we all we got. Like don't get me wrong, we're allies with a lot of people, but at the same time, you know, we don't want to get caught up in the crossfire with a different hood and start a new war with them people. So we try to be by ourselves as much as possible.
So someone said, so they choose you regardless. Some people might buy their patches, but real ones don't acknowledge the fakes. So if someone did find out that someone paid to get in, like and some real dudes came to the block, like
Mm.
and they knew that this dude paid to get in, they'd probably try to make him go put that work in, right?
Uh, yeah and no, because usually like the ones that are paying their way, they link up with a certain big homie, a certain G that pretty much has a lot of influence in the neighborhood. So they really, but yeah, you got real ones and certified dudes that when they go in there, when they
Mm,
see a person like that, they don't even, bro, they don't even want to be around him.
mm,
You know what I'm saying? Like me personally, I don't want to be near nobody like that. You know what I'm saying? Like I lost, I have a few losses. You know what I'm saying? That hit home. That were guys that were real ones, bro. That got had a squabble. You know what I'm saying? With a bunch of enemies in the county jail and even in the streets. Had to demonstrate who they were for some dude to come over here and pay to become something that you really not about it, bro. Like if something wants to go down, we can't even count on you. You know what I'm saying? But
mm.
yeah, no, what he's with that what he said, yeah, like they won't even acknowledge him, bro. Like, what I'm saying? They won't mess with him, but they'll like, what I'm saying? Like they won't even care about that he's around. They won't even acknowledge his presence, to be honest with you.
Word. So was there a strong blood presence, a strong Pyru presence anyway, where you were at? Or did you have to like where you were around other gangs and what other gangs were there and shit? What was your
Where,
relationship with them?
where as far as where out there
Yeah, in California.
oh man, yeah, bro, especially Compton, bro. That's all, it's populated, bro. Like there's we're especially with the PI rules, not all PI rules get along. I want to say that again. They used to back in the day, you know what I'm saying? But
Mm,
as far as with us, yeah, we do get along with with other power rule hoods, that have always been pretty much in alliance with us, and not only power rule hoods, but a certain a few other Damu hoods that we do get along.
and
But
so you guys out there right now are beefing with the Aryan Brotherhood, correct?
yeah, that's certain
It's a
not
touchy subject, right?
yeah, it's just kind of touchy because it's prison politics, but not just not just power rules, but the blacks, what I'm saying, like the blacks. They usually, they're at odds with that. You know what I'm saying? But to answer your question, not just, not individually just as power rules, but the blacks, yeah, like what I'm saying, the majority of the blacks, it's kind of a touchy subject. But even though right now, Maddie, I'm gonna be honest with you, there was a in the state penitentiary, all the big big four. If
Yup,
anybody wondering who's the big four, I would encourage you to to Google, like
yup.
the California prisons big four. I'm not gonna mention any names, but you could
Mm.
Google that and you find out who they are.
Yup.
You know, everybody came to an end of hostilities where there's no friction and no wars going on amongst prison organizations and sets in prison. So that pretty much came about. So there's not many wars going on as far as with different factions, but within those factions, there is turmoil. You know what I'm saying? People are still
Mm.
getting into stabbings and shit like that, but it's not not like back in the day where this faction will go against that faction. That now it's not as bad as it used to be. Due to the fact of the end of hostilities. That
Mm.
that was a few years ago, but are we friendly with them? No, but we're not. We still keep our distance from them, especially them in particular. Yeah, and
Word.
yeah, that's pretty much what that. Yeah.
So what's the structure like for PIRUs and county jail? Is there like a hierarchy, or does everyone
Mm.
move on their own? Like,
Nah, 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 nah. There's no hierarchy, bro. There's many, a lot of people, have that misconstrued, like, cause, and it's, I wish there was what I'm saying, a structure, because it would be, we would be much stronger. You know what I mean? Like now, there is a certain certain homies that have a large following. You do have that are be able to dictate what goes on, and people just follow suit. But as far as a hierarchy, we really pretty much don't operate that way. We just pretty much follow, pretty much what's going on in the street. But as far as one person running Fruit Town or one person, I don't know about any other section, but as far as with us, there's not one person that, could run the whole sections, because there's different blocks within that particular set. You feel me?
mm,
Like, yeah, but as far as like structure, we don't have, we don't operate that way. Like I said, you do have certain G homies and big homies that have a large amount, a large following, and do have that influence to where they could make, take certain decisions to dictate to the whole neighborhood. But it comes with a combination of other people that have that influence as well.
mm. And so, did you ever run into a Massachusetts guy gang that was claiming any type of gang out in the California county system?
Say that again?
Have you ever run into a Massachusetts dude like that comes to the county jail out there and he's claiming blood or Pyru or any other gang?
Nah, nah.
No.
Out there at the county, nah, out there, no. Usually, like,
And what do you think, like, as far as the differences between this out here and out there, right?
mm.
Like, what's this like? Is there a different structure for Pyrus out here in the Massachusetts county jails than there is in California? Do you know about that?
Out here, I know a few East Coast sets, that are West Coast affiliated. You know what I'm saying? Like you got the 20s out here, and you got the mob. You know what I'm saying? The mob Pyrus, and you got a few other sets out here. I don't, they do have a certain, which is good. You know what I'm saying? I admire that, because you pretty much have everybody in line. You
Mm,
know, you do have your certain, top dogs that pretty much say, this is what we're doing, or this is a no go. That's a positive thing. A positive sign where I do see them out here. But as far as out there on the West Coast, they operate. They operate like I told you. You know what I'm saying? They have a certain, certain people with large following, and a certain amount of influence will combine. They come together, and usually they're the ones that dictate. But as far
right.
as usually a group out there that pretty much dictate what the whole neighborhood goes, decides to do. But as far as what out here, it's usually one man or a two-man panel that decide what goes on throughout the whole set, which is pretty much a little bit better.
Mm. Yo, so is I was someone just made a comment right here. It says once you're on the outside, do your loyalties in politics usually get left behind on the inside, or does that stay tight with those dudes that are in there still?
That's it. That stays tight, bro. That carries with you outside.
Yeah. Do you think it's different out here as far as that goes?
Um, yeah and no. I mean, I think it does carry with them as well, but it comes along also with how deep and how tragic it is is the beef and the politics that they have in the streets. Like, I really don't see any West Don Musets out and out here in in Massachusetts. What I'm saying, that have that type of beef where it carries over inside the prison. That is that bad. What I'm saying. I haven't heard of it yet. I'm not saying that it hasn't happened. What I'm saying. No disrespect to the homies, but I haven't heard of it. To where it carries over. But I would think it would probably carry on to the streets as well. What I'm saying? Because especially if they're from the same county, usually it's gonna carry over. But I'm not too sure. But as far as out there, it's gonna carry outside. Like the politics and the loyalties, it carries outside. Because like I said, everybody knows each other out there. What I'm saying? And I figured everybody would know each other out here as well. What I'm saying? So
I feel like it's such a big state, California, right? It would
yeah,
be hard to know everybody, but it does seem like things are a lot closer knit out there as far as how the gangs move and the structure and shit. Like, do you guys communicate between jails, like
oh yeah,
to get things done and shit, to
for
like and
sure.
link up?
Hell yeah. You got what I'm saying. People got what I'm saying. They network a certain way. Yeah, it's a huge state, bro. You ain't lying. But
Mm,
bro, when you inside of California, there's so many ways to get in contact with everybody around. It's mind blowing. You know what I'm saying? Like, like I said, a lot of people think that LA is the whole state of California. No, LA is just a certain section in California, which pretty much resonates throughout the whole state. LA, everybody in LA, like I said, is affiliated, bro. So everybody, it starts to spread like wildfire. You know what I mean? Like, you start networking, and now with the ability to have tablets and phones, and like homies have be able to sneak in phones and shit. You're gonna hear about something immediately when it pops off.
really,
Like,
yeah, the phones, man. That's huge right there. So you're saying like basically, as soon as someone touches down and gets sent to a different yard, you can just hop on the cell and be
yeah,
like, "Yo, this dude's touching down," and there's no way out of that, right?
yeah,
And
immediately.
wow,
Immediately, bro. Like, it's not even without question, bro. Like, before you even, like, once you land in the county jail and you about to get shipped up to go up the road, meaning you're gonna go to a state penitentiary, homies are already, they're already waiting on you in all 26 prisons, bro. Like,
wow,
the words already like spread it out. They some, wherever you land, if you got a good rep, you're gonna get taken care of. You know what I'm saying? Like, but if you got a
yeah.
bad rep and you did some foul, you did something foul, it's gonna carry on with you as well.
And so are people getting unalived in the counties?
Oh, it is happening. It is happening. It does happen. But what I'm saying, when it does happen, it's usually like I said, bro. It's usually because something happened in the streets. What I'm saying? It's usually something, a war that got kicked off in the streets. But
Right.
it is happening. It is happening.
Mm.
But I haven't seen it take place, in front of me yet. But I've heard about it. What I'm saying, taking place, pretty often.
And another thing I've been hearing nonstop is that the ABs are in control of the cops, the county, all that. And I know they don't want to be talked about like that. And
Mm.
that's something you gotta, be careful about, which
Yeah,
I
yeah.
I respect. But is that true? Do they got it on smash like that out there?
Uh, they got a lot of influence with them. You know what I'm saying? But they're smart, bro. You know what I mean? As much people talk bad about them, they're smart. You know,
Mm,
they there's certain tactics that they do that I'm not gonna get into, but
right.
they're smart as far as with being able to do time easily and be able to get access to a lot of things. They're smart. That's
Mm.
the best way I could say it. But they are who they are. You know what I mean? They do have a large they do have a lot of followers, especially within their race. But they're you know they're the last of the Mohegans, man. I give them guys credit.
Where do you see a lot of ABs in the county jail there? What's up,
Um,
Steve?
Usually when they land, if they go to the county jail, I haven't been with one. As far as I haven't been with one per se. But if they were to land, they would probably be housed somewhere else. You feel me? They would probably go, they would probably house them in a different unit. But because they don't want to be around anybody. You know what I'm saying? It's good within their car. It's okay to be like, nah, I don't want to be here. I'll send me somewhere else.
Hmm.
I mean, so that but I haven't been with one. But when they land in the county jail, they get taken care of as far as with their people, because
Hmm.
they're they're the apex as far as the hierarchy within their people. You know what I mean? So that's
Do you
pretty.
feel like they are the sorry for cutting you off, but do you feel like they are the superior gang in California
Uh,
as far as like the most powerful gang?
they're one of them.
Yeah, for
They're one
sure.
of them. They're one
For
of them.
sure.
But
Sully, what's up, boyo? This is one of my brothers in the chat right here. One of my good
okay,
brothers.
what up? What up,
Good
bro?
dude.
Whoop.
All right. Yeah, so in California, right? So what was the race breakdown like in the county jail? Did you guys have a lot of like racial tension, or was it more gang fight and gang affiliations?
But and the county jail is more gang fighting. Race comes into
Or
play, but it's more gang fighting.
and what kind of gangs were getting it in? What was going on?
Usually, like beefs that happen in the streets. You know what I'm saying? Like, feel me? Like, it's a lot of beef that was happening. That took off in the streets, and like I said, it carries over into prison. I mean, in the county jail, it carries right over. But
Mm,
it's mainly that. Even certain people that didn't like each other. You know what I'm saying? Like they would take off too as well. But you know, it all depends on what I mean, like what and usually like people stealing stuff from certain people. That's that's usually what causes a lot of friction as well. But usually when someone from one faction steals from another faction, even though the hoods get along, their hoods take care of the people who are stealing. You know what I mean? Like we like someone from our faction was to steal from someone from someone else, even though we're allies, we're gonna DP. We're pretty much gonna discipline that person for doing that. You know what I'm saying? Because now you're putting everybody else at risk for something that you did and had nothing to do with that. You know what I mean?
mm. And so as far as like what happens if a blood gets locked up and doesn't have their own race backing them up? Do they still get loved? Like what happens if you hit a joint and like you're all by yourself? Is it ever happen?
Yeah, it happens. You know what I'm saying? Like if a dot like trying to understand, like if a Damu, like if a blood was to land inside of a module and he's by himself, and there's nobody from the set there, and he has to be by himself. Like that's what we're trying to say. Like if he's gonna get love from other people, like from other blacks or whatever. Is that what we're
Mm,
trying to say?
yeah. Yep. People
Uh,
outside his own gang. Like, what is your feel? Like, how does the ties go? Like, what gangs back you? Like out here, when we go in, like if I don't have any like boyos around, there's gonna be other white dudes that are from those areas that a lot of my friends are from, and they're gonna be like, "Oh, what's up, Maddie?" And they're gonna take me in, give me, look out for me and shit like that.
yeah,
Out
yeah,
there,
yeah,
you guys
yeah.
got someone like that in there for you?
Yeah, for sure. No, for sure. Like if you by yourself in a module. Yeah, and there's other Don Moose sets there, you know what I'm saying? And even certain Crips, you know what I'm saying, that that aren't beefing with your neighborhood. Like the
Mm,
fact that, despite the fact that, you're a Crip and you're blood or PIRU, we're all, race, that's when race comes into play. Like I said, if there's no bloodshed amongst, a Crip and a Damu, they'll look out for one another, you know what I'm saying? If they're not on, if they're not set tripping. But, usually like if let's say I go in a module and there's a lot of Dom moves that I from different hoods that are not beefing with my section, they'll look out for me. You know what I'm saying? Like they'll be like, "Yo, come through." Especially if they know that I'm good, like my paperwork is good. Then yeah, you straight. You know what I'm saying? You
mm,
ain't you're gonna be taken care of. You know what I'm saying? That's the good. As far as that goes, yeah, that you're gonna be good. But if they find out, that you in for something that faulty that ain't good, you're not. Yeah, you
right.
probably get rat pack.
Yeah, and so what happens if you check in the PC in there in the county jail? How does that work out if you're a PIRU and you end up checking into PC? And then what happens after that to you as a person beyond?
Oh man, that's the worst thing you can do, bro. I don't know, about out here, but out there, you PC up, bro. Let's say you go into a module and a unit, and there's opposition that are in there that don't like your neighborhood, and they know you, and they're gonna, anything can happen to you, and you decide to PC up, bro. That's not you're gonna have a tough time living, going back to your neighborhood and trying to explain, bro. People are not gonna. You're probably gonna get disciplined out there and probably like outcasted, bro. That's the worst thing you can do. That's one of the big no-nos that you can do in the county jail or even in prison. In prison, you're probably gonna, it depends, you know what I'm saying, to the extremity of how, certain figures want to do to you. But, I've heard stories of people that PC up, bro, and it's not a good sign. You feel me? Like they go back home and they're outcasted immediately. You can't even get talked to, bro. Like once you PC up, bro, you gotta hit the bricks. Like you ain't gonna be around us.
So you can't even go back to your own neighborhood.
Hell no, because pretty much how what they're not gonna trust you, bro. You know what I'm saying? Feel me?
Word.
Like you were in a certain scenario where you had to demonstrate and be who you are to represent us. You know what I'm saying? And you failed to do that. Why would we
Mm,
want you around us? Now that we all together, what are you gonna do now? You know what I'm saying? You gonna hide
word.
behind us? You probably not. Nah, you gotta go, bro. Like you know what I'm saying? Like it has happened, bro. Like I've heard about it.
Was there
And
ever
I've heard stories.
situations? Oh, my fault.
No, go ahead, go ahead.
Was there ever situations where the Pyrus had to like go extra hard to get their respect, where you guys were maybe getting pressed or something and it was getting a little hairy and you had to go do some crazy shit?
Yeah, it happens all the time. But like I said, it usually happens when within sets. You know what I'm saying? Like it all depends on the situation at the matter at hand. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like if there's factions, within the Bloods that are, pretty much trying to, run the unit and there's other sets in there, well, we're gonna stand about and we're pretty much gonna do what we have to do. But usually
Mhm.
like like I said, it's usually like within sets that are going off, that have prior beef in the streets where it usually takes place like that. But I haven't been able to, be a part of something like that where we had, a whole the whole PI card, pretty much have to go against another Blood hood or a Crip hood to pretty much stand on top. But like I said, it's usually amongst sets that, but like my time, I don't know about, back in the day, like with my homies, I'm pretty sure it has happened, but now it's usually amongst sets, like, certain sets going out of one another that want to be able to take each other out. That's usually what, occurs
Word.
on the daily basis in there.
Word. So one of my friends, Corso, um, he asked, he said, no disrespect. He says, how does dudes feel about white boy bloods or white Pyrus? And I remember I had asked you that, and I was gonna ask you that next. So
Yeah.
what's the deal with that? Is there white Pyrus in there, and how do they get treated?
Yeah, they're like there's a few of them. You know what I'm saying? There's a few white power, not many, but there is a few that have, there's no, there's no love lost for them, especially if they riders and they, frontlining. You know what I'm saying? There's, we look at them as one of us. You know what I'm saying? So it's usually no no shade to them just because they're white. You know what I'm saying? And usually, like if they were to land in prison and they were to get pressed by the whites, you know what I'm saying? Like, them dudes from up north, they them two-letter word dudes, you know what I'm saying?
Yup.
And the woods and the southern woods and the wood piles, we right beside them. Like, bro, what's ain't nothing gonna happen to them. You know what I'm saying?
Mm,
In the county, but in the county that would rarely happen. But up in prison, that would usually be the type of behavior that they would probably face. But the homies are, the homies are gonna be right beside them. But we got, there's more Mexicans out there, that are Bloods and Crips, and Pyrus and Crips,
yeah.
that there's more of them. Then there's a little bit more than whites being in. You know what I'm saying? I know if I've heard of them, but it's usually no shade to them when they when they're a part of it.
Right, right. They get their respect.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this, right? Because this is like the clincher for me. Like, so you told me a story about like when the Mexican mafia dude, the head dude comes into the yard, right?
Yeah.
And like basically, like what goes on? You tell it because it's crazy.
Well, Maddie said the word, but I won't say, I won't reference to him. But when someone like that, like they operate different. You know what I mean? The Southsiders, shout out to the Southsiders if they're watching. You know what I'm saying? They to me, bro, they're probably the most structured and disciplined dudes, and that don't Maddie, I'm gonna tell you one thing, bro. Them dudes, us, we if we have to discipline somebody, we use our fists. Them dudes, they use knives, dog. If you do, if one of their own does something, like they have their areas on the yard. One of their dudes walks over to where like our area is.
Mm,
They're gonna like, bro. They're getting hit with pieces left and right, dog.
yeah.
Them dudes, and they got quantity and they got quality, bro. Like they got numbers by the margin. Don't get me wrong about that, dude. Like I have a lot of respect for them guys.
Mm,
The Southsiders and the Sureños, and you know, they pledge allegiance to the people that you just mentioned. You know what I'm saying? They have to operate, a certain way. But bro, the way they have to carry themselves is they can't talk. Well, Mexican dude can't be in a cell with a black dude, bro. Period.
mm.
You know, they did have an alliance with the whites, a few years ago, but that kind of fell out from what I was hearing and seeing. But I'm not gonna speak on it. That's not my field. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
But
someone asked that question too. They said to ask you about the AB and how they ally with the Mexican mafia, if you knew anything about that. But
I want.
so real quick, let me explain real quick. So he's not allowed as the gang he's in the affiliate the alliances they have, he's not allowed to say their names or speak on a lot of certain specific things, but he can speak on it in general. So if whatever you know, brother.
Yeah, 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 for sure. I appreciate you, Matty. Yeah, like
Bro.
as far as with those two factions, man, they had, history speaks on it. They had an alliance and shit. You know what I'm saying? But I didn't see none. I didn't see them together when I was in the county. But like I said, I don't know. I heard, from what I was hearing, I heard them. I've seen them operate by themselves. Everybody now operates by themselves. You know what I'm saying? But I've heard of it. All my big homies I've heard, spoke on it. When they were in state prison back in the '80s and '70s and the '90s. They were. You would see them come together. You know what I mean? Like a best example, Matty, is the riot in Pelican. I think it was in Pelican Bay, if I'm not mistaken. It's on YouTube.
Yeah.
You you know you see what goes on in there. There's the blacks and Southsiders and the other the woodpile and a big melee happened with that. That's pretty much as much as I could say on it. But I can't really speak too much on their alliance. Yeah, they were together, but I don't know about now. That's pretty much all I can say.
Mm. Yeah. He my boy, that was my brother right there. He was in the feds and they had like a big alliance between the AB and in the MA. But
Yeah.
I
Don't
know
get me
that he
wrong,
never
Maddie.
been.
Don't get me wrong. My bad, not to cut you off, but to
Yep.
allude to what you were saying. Yeah, bro. Whenever one of them guys, one of the heavy, one of them legends, I'm referring to them as the legends. Whenever one of those legends from that particular faction goes down to a county yard or to a prison yard, bro, they're getting a certain percentage of what's being made in the yard by that faction, and they're pretty much calling the shots immediately.
Yeah.
Well, whoever the key holder is someone for them that's pretty much someone who's established, designated to run the whole car. That person has to pretty much interact with. Not everybody can interact with a legend like that. That's just
Really.
how
So
structured their politics is.
say if you saw him and you were like, damn, I heard this dude's name my whole life. Like, I want to go say hello to him. Like, you couldn't even walk up to him and shake his hand.
Nah, nah, hell nah.
What would happen?
Nah, unless he would walk up to one of us, then yeah, but we can't walk up to none of them.
Wow. The
Yeah.
respect there.
Yeah, not only respect, but it's just, what I'm saying, like, I'm not. You got to be designated by your people in order to talk to one of them guys. 'Cause
Oh,
they don't even like. Remember, like I said, they have runners that pretty much report to them, so you wouldn't even be able to talk to them. You got to talk to one of their runners.
right.
Now, if
Makes it
he in
hard to get to him.
particular, like if he in particular wanted to talk to you, like if he wanted to step out and wanted to talk to you, then yeah. But that rarely would happen. Like it has happened, but that rarely would happen.
Right, make you feel super important. You're like, yo, this dude just talking to me, bro.
Nah, yeah, to me it wouldn't even matter. Like I really didn't. I don't look at them. I do have a lot of respect for him. Like
Absolutely.
my brother got locked. He was in the hole in Pelican Bay in the shoe, and right beside him was one of the heavyweights. You know what I'm saying, of
Mm.
that faction. So, and my brother would talk to him. You know what I'm saying? And he had a lot. He had a lot of respect for for my brother. He knew who my brother was, and my brother knew who he was. And but that was it. You know what I'm saying? They would just say good morning and how they were doing and whatnot. But they wouldn't get into talking about nothing heavy as far as like politics is concerned, because that's nobody's bigger than the program. Rules are already established, so we can't even interact with that type of topic. But I wouldn't even really there's legends within our own car that I admire before, that I would want to talk to before I would talk to one of them.
Right. So you guys, as Pyrus, right? You guys have your own established like legends in the trenches out there.
Oh
Real
yeah,
quick, Corso, your comment didn't pop up. I don't know what happened to it. I can't see what it says, but it didn't pop up on my YouTube. Sorry, I just wanted to let you know. But yeah, so you guys have your own established OGs and shit like that. Um,
yeah.
explain your relationship with them and anything that you got to say.
Oh man, there's a lot of my G homies out there, man, that I have a lot of respect for, man. There's so many of them. You know what I mean? Like
And he's still doing time.
uh, a few, quite a few.
Yeah.
Quite a few. Majority of them starting to get out. You know what I mean? Like there's a few of them that got out, like the big, one of the triple OG homies. He was one of was there when it first started. When I say triple OGs, one of the or if I say tree Gs, it's one of the guys that was there when it started. Like the G homie Red Eye Rick, who just got out. He did 38 years.
Mm.
Um, day one. The big home, Big Duck, who's Rick Ross's bodyguard.
Really?
Yeah, Big Duck. He's mentioned them in a few songs. That's one of the G homies. Damn,
And
it's
you
just
guys all kind of like, not to cut you off real quick, you guys all kind of collab like together, right? Like you guys all keep in contact and shit.
yeah. I know. I keep in I haven't spoken to Big Duck in a while. I haven't. His son's still in prison. Lil Duck. Free him too.
Mm. Be the people.
Yeah, bro. The main ones that I talk to, is my G. One of the tree G's that I talk to, every once in a while is Top Cap. He did time in the feds, did time in the state. My G, my big brother Slim,
Mm.
original. He's another one. Mexican Rob. There's just so many of them, bro. Like so many, man. There's so many of them that I can't even. And certain other ones that from different sets that I have a lot of respect for too. You know what I'm saying? Like one of the founders of PIRU. Just the word PIRU, LB, Lorenzo Ben just got out. He did 44 years that he just did. He came home. You
Wow.
know, yeah,
Salute
bro.
to him.
Yeah, original day one frontliner.
Wow.
You know, yeah, he just got out and he's in shape too, man. Like he the big home. He carried himself a certain way.
Yeah. Did you ever have the privilege of meeting any of these big homies in the yard, like the legends?
No, I haven't met LB. I want to meet him. I haven't met him. I haven't met him yet. I haven't met Red Eye Rick yet. I only spoke to him on the phone. But I was able to meet AC Baba Louie. I spoke to him on the phone. He just passed like a few weeks ago. He did one of the originators of Pyru as well. These are the guys that pretty much cemented the word Pyru, bro. If you really ask me, a lot of these guys, China Man, China Dog from Ludus Park Pyru, he was another one. Original guy, original homie, G homie that he just got out. He did like 36, 37 years. When I head out that way, I want to be able to meet him as well. There's so many of them, bro. Like, one of the ones that I wanted to meet that I wasn't able to meet him, was, you know, OG Puddin. He was one of the originators of Paru Street as well. A hitter. He passed
Yo,
away few years ago, back in '05, '06, I believe he passed away. But there's so many legends, bro. We're losing legends left and right, man. A lot of them are like in their late '60s, early '70s now, and their health is, going, not so good. So
Yeah. So are there any young legends coming up in the game right now? And then I got to ask you a question after that for my boy Corso. But is there any young legends making their names out there that, up and comings
oh
in the
hell yeah,
Bible?
especially from my my section, Hop Out, Fruit Town Hop Out. He's a nasty MC. Young Hated from the 400 block. That's the homie. He's another legend. Funk P. These are right. These dudes are rapping, bro. They beasts. There's so many of them out there, man. Shout out to all of them. And even out in Texas, there's a few homies from Texas that are rapping as well, man. That doing their thing. You know what I mean? But my my OGs are really pretty much, there's a lot of talent, man, in these sections that I have a lot of respect for, man. That a lot of them are nasty with the mic, nasty with the technology as far as with cameras. There's a lot of talented brothers out there, man. That you know take pick up the wrong thing, but it's not because they want to. It's because they're forced, due to the unfortunate circumstances that they're in, man. So
Hmm.
I
And
don't.
those neighborhoods, the neighborhoods out there where your mother's from, she's a rolling 60s crip, correct? Like we already talked about that, but
Yeah, she
just
was.
for
She
people
was.
who haven't watched,
Yeah,
how's
she
the
was.
structure out there in the neighborhoods? Like what's it like? And especially because your mom's a crip, how'd you become a Pyru blood if your mom's hanging out with them? Like what
Yeah,
happened?
but when I pretty much came into play, she was already out here. You know what I'm saying? But I did hear about it. She didn't even really talk about it. But when we would go out there, they would tell me, like, yo, your mom, your mom's from this side, right? Right. I was like, damn, I didn't even know that. But one of the originals from out there, his name is Big Cat from the Overhills. That's a certain section within the sixes. I spoke to him on Instagram, and I sent him some pictures to see if he remembered me, and he mentioned my mom by name. He was like, "Yeah, that's the homegirl Rita, man. That's a loved one there, man." He was like, "Your grandma." He started talking about my grandma, you know what I mean, and my aunts. And he was like, "Yeah, they from out here." He was like, They from out here. They fought and everything with different girls from different sections,
Mm,
and they were outside, with us. You know what I'm saying? But usually, I never went to I never went to their section. You know what I'm saying? Because when I go, like the times I go out there, I go, either go to my section or I go up north to see my family. But that's something that I do want to do. I'm trying to get in contact with Big Cat, so he could pretty much fill me in on how my mom was back in the day. You hear me?
mm,
Because she doesn't like talking about it because she starts to remember a lot of loved ones that she grew up with that she lost. You know what I'm saying? So it hits home when she decides to talk about it. But you know, she really doesn't. You feel me? She really doesn't like. When she talks about it, it's mainly to pretty much to tell the fun moments that she had over there because she said there was a lot of fun at that time. There was a lot of love, within certain sections. Now she was like back then there was more love. Now it's just pretty much like a trend, and there's usually a lot of trends. There's usually a lot of self civil wars a lot of times within certain neighborhoods. And she
mm.
when she saw that happen, she just left.
So the drill scene is taking over those
Yeah,
neighborhoods probably bad, right?
yeah, you could say the drill scene, but usually politics come into play with that. But you know, she just she fell out of love. She was like, nah, this is not what I grew up in. So she just decided to relocate and live the rest of her life in peace.
Mm. Was the rapper game a Pyru? My boy Jay Ryan wants to know if the game was a Pyru.
Yeah, yeah, he's from Cedar Block Pyro. Yeah, he's an original, and his brother too, Big Face. Shout out to him too.
So what set of Pyru are you from? Are you allowed to say that?
Yeah, yeah, Fruit Town Pyro,
Fruit Town.
Fruit Town. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, Game and his brother Big Face. They from Cedar Block Pyro. They off Cedar Street in Brazil. They off over there. They're originals out there.
mm. So let this seems like a good time to segue into the Fah-Tee skin tight conversation.
Yeah.
Yo, so you got serious ties to Fah-Tee and skin tight, right? Let's talk about skin tight first because it's not as much about him, but
Mm.
let's talk about skin tight and just a little bit about how you know him and just growing up, what you heard and your experience and relationship in regards to him.
Skin tight, James Skinner. Yeah, he one of my relatives. You know what I'm saying? Like he would go out to pretty much. He met him in the penal system in Walpole. My blood cousin actually. He's my mom's nephew. Nephew, blood nephew. When he got pinched in '91, he went in there. He did 17 straight, 15 to 17 straight from '91 on. So I would see when he was sending, like, I was saying earlier, he was sending pictures to my aunt. You know what I'm saying? So there was a lot of pictures that he took back in them days. I heard you could take pictures with, not just by yourself, but with your friends. So he was sending pictures of him taking pictures with these dudes. And I'm like, damn, I'm gonna wait till, hopefully when he got out, I was about 12, 11 or 12 years old when he came out because he got locked up before I was born. So when I started to see all these pictures that he was sent home. I waited till he got out, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, yo, who these dudes that you taking pictures with? You know what I'm saying? Where they from? And he's like, oh no, that's the homie Skin Tight. That's the homie Fah-Tee from Mission Hill. And I'm like, damn, who are these dudes? Because, I thought they were, representing certain things. Because in my mind, I still got that I got that Cali, that LA. Like, oh, where these dudes from?
Right.
But they weren't representing any gang, any set particular. They were just dudes that were cool with him. You know what I'm saying? That he knew him on a personal level because he was with them. You know, he got to share moments with them. But as far as with James, with Skin Tight, I heard, from my cousin, he still maintains contact with him. You know what I'm saying? He's from, I heard he's locked up in Kentucky, if I'm not mistaken. I heard he was in McCrary, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
You know, he's in the United States prison. I heard he got shipped out, so I heard he's out there from what my cousin was saying. But I heard, he was a frontliner. You know what I mean? I heard he was a beast with his hands. I heard he was an animal in the exercise yard as well. I heard he was benching like 575.
Mm.
I
Yeah,
mean,
he's a
I heard
savage, bro. So the Boyos, a little history lesson for you. The Boyos started because of Skin Tight, right? So
right,
Skin Tight, well, during it was a war, it broke out, it was a race war. So the black dudes started moving on the white dudes, and it was like, it became real serious. Every white dude that got seen by certain black dudes was getting moved on, and vice versa. And it became real hectic. And same, black dudes and white dudes were all getting shipped off to DDU for these fights and stabbings that all came along with it. So a lot of my brothers were in DDU for stabbings over to do with the or fights and jumpings, SDG fights and stompings and whatever. Dudes are all in DDU, and this is long-term segregation. It's like the ADX of Massachusetts. It's it's a prison, and it's all just a hole. It's a segregation.
right.
And while we was over there, dudes came together and was like, look, like we got to band together because we're losing right now. Like, or we can't lose basically. Like we need to band together and take care of this situation because if not, we're just gonna get crushed out. Like this dude's a serious dude. Skin Tight was very serious dude, bro. Scary ass dude. And so dudes came together. We created an alliance against it, and this shit died down soon after. But it was like, it took us to come together to kind of quell that situation without it getting even worse than it really already was. But Skin Tight was a major player in it. And Skin Tight was there during the times when Ricky Costa and Dennis Day were all there, and they would they ran the joint like with Skin Tight, Dennis Day, and Ricky Costa. Those three people in that one joint. It's like you having three legends in one yard. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Like it was serious. Those are three legends right there. Three Massachusetts legends for sure. Dennis,
That's
Dennis Day and Ricky Costa are notorious. They had the cops bringing them bottles of alcohol. They had the cops bringing them drugs. They had real street cash, street clothing. Like they walked around the joint like they were the fucking mafia. Like they had that place on smash. And Skin Tight and them got into a little beef at one point. I think I believe, and this is what the rumor was and the myth was, is that Ricky Costa and a few other people tried to surround him and chased him with a knife. But I would love to hear it from Skin Tight himself. And so from what I hear, you had your cousin reach out to Skin Tight to see if he would do a phone interview, correct?
yeah. He's trying. He's waiting for him to get in contact with him to see if he would, would be, partake in something like that. He's waiting for him, whenever he calls to see if he, you know, would, participate in the phone call. That'll be epic. You know what I'm saying? I haven't, I heard, based off his, description, I heard he was a big dude. You know what I'm saying? I heard he's like, like 6'4", like 270 and whatnot. I heard he was serious with his hands, and you know what I'm saying? It's usually like he reminds me of a few, reputables out west. So, I told my relative, I'm like, yeah, it'd be good to hear about him. You know what I'm saying? There's real dudes everywhere. You know what I'm saying? Not just in California itself. You know what I'm saying? So, I take my hat off to people like that. You know what I'm saying? That go in, don't have a bad rep, and they're able to demonstrate and pretty much help everybody congregate and lead them a certain way. I have respect for that. But yeah, you know,
Absolutely. Those are like gods, bro. Like these dudes are born on the earth like the rest of us, but just somehow become extremely I would say we allow other people to be powerful in their own right. They're
right.
not powerful all by themselves. We allow that shit through our own fear. They're energy vampires, but like that's honestly, I don't have any. I think that it's God given talent to be able to do something like that, manipulate, control, and conquer. That's what great men turn out to be. Like that's how great men are formed. And let's face it, we can all say, yeah, oh, he's an idiot. He just kills people in prison. He's in prison for the rest of his life. How smart could he be? But he's very smart.
Yeah.
He's a warrior. So he's an elite class human being. That's smart. I mean,
Not
it's just that
so.
he's too dangerous for society. That's why he's in prison. Like people are scared of people like that. He's smart and he's dangerous. That's
Right.
dangerous. You know what I mean? But my friend Lynn wanted to ask you a question about California. I was gonna wait to the end, but fuck that. I got people that watch and they want answers. Nah, I'm just playing. But fucking how are the COs out in California? Lynn wants to know.
Racist as hell.
Racist, yeah.
Yeah, racist as hell, bro. And not only that, you got, not only you got white, uh, Southern, dudes that are influenced by you know, Southern type of mentality. You got Mexican CEOs in there that they're no good neither, bro. They're horrible. You know what I'm saying? They're treacherous as well. You do got your black, your black CEOs who are all right. You got a few, like I'm saying, you got a few guys that go in to get a paycheck, go home, and even the certain G's like, nah, don't mess with dude. Leave me alone. Just let him
Word.
do his job. He got a family to feed. Like they're, we're aware of that. You know what I'm saying? Like if dude's a real dude, he quiet and he don't mind. He does what he's supposed to do. They leave him alone. You know what I'm saying? But you do got those. You got a majority of you know the white COs and the Mexicans. They give you a bunch of BS, bro, and it's horrible. It pisses people off, but you know what I'm saying. It's like you're in there, so you just got to deal with it.
So yeah, someone said that we don't talk about Jeff Hardy enough, right? So Jeff Hardy is a legend from Massachusetts. He's also a heavy. He's a legend. He's in New Jersey right now. Jeff Hardy's one of my brothers. He's in New Jersey right now. They shipped him out in 2008 for being too influential in Massachusetts, but he was definitely a heavy hitter and is still a great dude doing time in New Jersey, one of the greats of Massachusetts for sure. And I definitely don't get enough recognition. You're right. Someone said that the Boyles didn't start over Skin Tight, but honestly, we started during that whole war with Skin Tight and DDU. We became official. So whether we started directly because of Skin Tight or because we were all in DDU over skin tight and the war with that, we did still start with that whole situation in mind. Like
Yeah,
it pulled us together. You know what I mean? So
right.
yeah, no, we didn't sit down and say, "Oh, we can't let skin tight live." No, but we were like, there's serious drama for the white dudes. We need to stick together, and he was the drama. So yeah, it kind of started over him. Kind of, yeah. Yeah, he is a bad white boy for sure. Yo, so let's check this out, right? So, um, how about what's his face? Fah-Tee, right? So Fah-Tee, that's how me and you met, is because
Yeah,
you watched the video on Fah-Tee and
yeah,
your peoples are related to Fah-Tee and you grew up basically around him. So let me hear the whole story, man. I want to know about your whole relationship with Fah-Tee from the beginning, bro. That shit's interesting.
yeah. That's my boy. My boy. That's my dog right there. You know what I'm saying? That's my peoples right there. I met him a few years ago. You know what I'm saying? He quite for a few years ago, quite a while now. You know what I'm saying? About 8 9 years. That's the homie Los. You know, he's Fah-Tee's relative. That's his cousin. You know what I'm saying? Not only that, bro, but my relative that actually did time with Skin Tight was like pretty much bros with Fah-Tee in prison. You know what I'm saying?
Mm,
So that's pretty much a combination right there. What I would hear about him, but I met Fah-Tee's peoples. You know what I'm saying? Through and majority of them are from the Mission Hill projects out in Boston. You know what I'm saying? Good dudes, man. Good thorough dudes. You know what I'm saying? Good, dudes that are warriors. You know what I'm saying? That are fighters just like him. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
No shade to him. No shade to them. But
right.
I was able to hear about him. You know what I'm saying? Through a few people. You know what I'm saying? That went up the road. And did time in Walpole. Not only just my cousin, but a few homies that I met out here. You know what I mean? That will speak about him, and they were like, "Yo, this dude's out of his damn mind, bro. This crazy ass dude be doing doing the most to people, and the stuff that he was accused of doing. It was actually a fact. You know what I mean? Like I got to read a little bit of his paperwork and shit.
I have that paperwork. You sent that to me, right?
Yeah, and there's
So
more
I'm gonna
to
make
it.
a video about it. I'm gonna make a second video on skin tight because I got that paperwork is crazy.
Yeah, you know what I mean. And with as far as with Fah-Tee, you know what I'm saying, he was committing he was sodomizing dudes in there, raping dudes and whatnot. And where I'm from, bro, we ain't with none of that, homie. Like
Word.
I would argue with my cousin about it, and I told his peoples, you know what I'm saying. I told my homie Lois, like, bro, I get it. I do respect the fact that he does take it to the system, you know what I'm saying. But at the same time, you still got to carry yourself like a man at the end of the day, homie. You know what I mean? Like that, what he does, what he did, and what he's accustomed to doing, he won't last long in the state of California, homie. That's
So
a
if
fact.
word. So if I was gonna ask you that question, so if Fah-Tee, right? Fah-Tee himself, the
Uh-huh.
OG in his prime, not now though, not now as the old man he is, because I think I could take him now. But maybe not though, because even Dave Weichel, I thought he was kind of weak, but me and him played a lot of sports around each other, and I know that dude can move. He could play handball for an old ass bald fucking white dude. He moves and he's strong. And like he fought Frank Huggins, and Frank Huggins stabbed him and almost killed him. But he almost killed Frank Huggins. I mean, sorry, he stabbed Frank Huggins, almost killed Frank Huggins, and Frank Huggins beat Dave almost to death with his hands while he was getting stabbed. That was a vicious one. But like you can't ever judge a book by its cover, especially when it's just older gangster dudes like that. Like he could be just as tough and strong. And from what I hear from the COs that still go on as move teams, he's still just as wiry and tough. Like the dude's still a tough prick. But I don't think he's the same as he was when he was in his prime. Like when he was in his prime, he had his youth, he looked better. Like he didn't have the hair growing out the sides of his head around his ears and shit. And fucking like looking all crazy, like you know what I mean. I think just taking care of yourself goes a long way to just like make you. I don't know, man. The dude's just not able to. He's on suicide watch. He's been. I don't agree with that as much for what he did though. Like for what he did, yeah, deserves punishment. But what kind of punishment? Maybe death, but not what they're putting him through. They're making him sit in his suicide watch cell for the rest of his life, basically.
Right. Yeah. No. He. Like I said, man. He was to walk around. If that was in the state of California, Matty,
Yeah.
he ain't gonna be like like I told his cousin. You know what I'm saying? He's not gonna be able to walk the yard. Based off his bravery, he's not gonna. I know he probably won't PC up. But the fact, like I said earlier, with the racist COs that there is over there, and not only that, but when like if he was to get sent out that way through interstate compact and the DOC, once the California DOC comes out here to pick him up, I already know off rip, the dudes, the Massachusetts correction officers, they're gonna give him his rap sheet and they're
Yeah.
gonna do whatever y'all want to this dude. He's the worst. And when they look at it, being that the fact that they're so damn racist, they're gonna be like, oh, he's a black dude and
Uh-huh.
he raped 2 white women.
Uh-huh.
We got something
Old
for
white
his ass.
women.
Yeah, they always like, oh, we got something for his ass. The minute they bring him into the bus by himself, they're gonna start messing with him, talking shit to him. And the minute they're gonna be like, you ain't gonna last long once you land over here. We're gonna make sure that they did the same thing to Yogi Hugo Pinnell, one of the founders of one of the big four, one of the founding members of the Big Four. He was a San Quentin Six. So if anybody wants to learn about him, Google the
Look it
San
up.
Quentin Six. He was one of the ones that in San Quentin in 1971 he caused a whole riot. He killed 2 ABs. I could say that about him.
Yeah.
And bro, they waited so many years to get him, bro. And he was an old man. I don't respect what they did, but they got him. You know what I'm saying? So, he had a little, he had a pretty much like not something similar to Fah, but he was accused of something like almost to a similar effect to Fah-Tee, but it
Really?
wasn't that.
And he
Yeah,
was
but
yeah.
it was, but they were they pretty much dissected and found out that it was some BS. It was a white girl that they tried to, because it was around the civil rights movement. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
So
right.
a lot of Fugazi stuff was going on, and he even said it. You know what I'm saying? Like he was like, oh, I'm not with that. I didn't do nothing, and that's that. And he even said he was like, y'all could do a DNA test, y'all could do whatever y'all want. So he was good as far as with that, but he was a real one. You know what I mean?
Mm.
He was an old man when they got him, bro, and it caused a big ass riot out there in the state of California. But to the matter at hand, when the minute he lands over there in intake, and which probably in Pelican Bay, they're gonna tell not probably they're not not now because the end of all hostilities, but his own probably a Crip or a Damu or someone would probably move in on him because the whites are gonna press that issue immediately. They're gonna
Yeah.
be like, bro, this dude can't live. And when they see his rap sheet and that he ain't affiliated, they're gonna move in on him immediately, bro. I don't give him more than 48 hours before something happens.
Word. And what do you think would happen if he was to, basically give him a taste of what he gives dudes out here? Like he was to go in there and dudes didn't know about his charges, say, right? But he was to go in there and start dominating right away and
Nah,
getting that little bit of respect. And then people
nah,
found out. What do you think would happen? They'd still do the same thing?
nah. It won't even get that far, bro. Because the minute there's no in prison, especially in prison. I'm allude to what you were saying earlier about you guys. There's no fair fights in there. The minute he starts acting off, he's getting hit
Yeah.
by at least 5 or 6 of them. And the difference over there, Matty, in prison, from what I heard, like the G homies that are in there, and were able to learn from the dudes from up from the BGFs and shit. They were able to learn where to hit, to learn the human body, bro. These dudes are smart. Like they knew the pressure points on where to hit you, how to hit you. Like, bro,
Really?
they're not just gonna stab you like how you would do somebody just because you hate them. Nah, bro. They studied where to hit you, bro. Like they studied. They had certain arteries that they would hit. Like these dudes, whenever that's why so many people died back then, man. Because these
Yeah.
dudes were hitting arteries, hitting pressure points, and immobilizing people in war. Like if someone was in the pull up, like doing dips, they would make sure they would hit them right under the carotid artery, right under the chest, pretty much to hit a lung immediately, bro. Like these dudes are not gonna hit you in your just plain stomach. They're gonna hit you probably in the top of your neck,
Yeah.
side of under your armpit. You know, they're gonna hit you probably like in the lower, like right where your main vein is, bro. Like these dudes were like animals.
So if that was gonna happen, right? Would they sneak you, or would they tell? Would you know about it and they're just coming anyway?
Um, I would assume he will know about it because like not everywhere is Massachusetts. No disrespect, but the media, I'm pretty sure like everybody in the state of Massachusetts or everywhere, you going to a state like California and the prison system. Skin Tight was up there, and
Yeah.
he acted a court. He was good. You know what I'm saying? Because
So
my
Skin Tight was in California, and he was like, so what was his like respect level out there? Was Skin Tight like a
he
very
was good.
respected dude, just like out here?
Yeah, he was good. You know what I'm saying? Because my uncle got at me. My cousin got at me. I was able to get in touch with a few people out there, and he was in Lancaster. That's also I believe it's a level 4 yard. Excuse me, and he landed up there, and a few people went up to his cell, and they were like, "We know who you are." You know what I'm saying? Good. You good, but you know what I'm saying. Whenever shit pops off, you got to be aligned with us, and he was good with it. You know what I'm saying? So they were like, we know who you are. But Skin Tight's older now, you know what I'm saying? He's like
Yeah,
62. But
right,
he's still a force, bro, from what I
right.
hear. He's still a force.
I feel like people who are forced like that, never become anything less. Or maybe if they are, they're just diminutive a little bit. But bro, I feel like I'm a force. And I don't feel like
Yeah.
I'm ever not gonna be, bro. Like the way I feel, my attitude is that just like you don't need to be all physical. My force is in my mind. My force comes from my mind, and it makes me powerful. God
Right.
makes me powerful. You know what
Right.
I mean? So you could be 90 years old and be a fucking problem. You
Oh,
know
of
what I
course,
mean?
especially if you take care of yourself the proper way. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna be good. Like the G homie LB who just got out from doing 44 years, bro. You see him, and bro, I'm not even kidding with you. Like I've seen pictures and videos. His body looks like if he's still in his 30s.
Mhm.
And yeah,
That's a
bro.
lot of that's what prison does, man. It preserves for sure. 100% fact.
And he's still doing 1,000 burpees a day. Because remember, they took the weights out from California in '98 out of the California penal system. They took them out, so all they do is calisthenics and push-ups. So you know, he's in shape, and many others are like him. You know what I mean? But you know, to allude to that, you know what I mean? Like there's, you know, he would have, even though he is who he is, bro. As far as with Fah-Tee, he would still have problems up there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't, you know. I heard mentally he's not there too. You know what I'm saying? Like I heard, but even though he's like that, Maddie, I heard, he's still smart. You know what I'm saying? In the sense that he still be right, writing and filing civil lawsuits against the DOC. So
Mm,
even though he pertains to be like he's off it, bro, but he still knows what he's doing.
yeah. Honestly, when it comes to filing lawsuits against the Department of Corrections, best thing you could do, you go to prison, learn the fucking civil law right away, and exploit the abuse that we experience. Don't just take it on
Right,
the chin, exploit it. They're going to do it. They're giving you free money. Take it.
right,
Take it. Don't be stupid.
right,
Fact. Go in there and get your money right away. They're going to start fucking with you and breaking the law. Know the law and exploit that shit because they do it to us. They throw us in prison. They will fucking eat that key, shit it down the toilet, flush the toilet, make sure you never get that shit. They don't give a
right,
fuck about you. Sue
right,
them. They're going to fucking abuse you. Sue them. Fact.
right. And he's smart, bro. Because I was reading, my cousin was sending me stuff about him. I'm like, bro, I thought you said this dude was off his mind, bro. He's still filing civil lawsuits, bro. I'm like, you can't, if you off your mind, you ain't gonna be able to do none of that, homie. You heard me? Like that ain't
Yep.
happening, bro. Like somebody who's mentally
Yeah.
unequipped is not gonna be able to file a civil lawsuit, bro. But
Well, nah, that's not technically true, bro. I've seen some very crazy ass lawsuits.
like
No
with the
bullshit. Like I've seen some real funny ass ones too. Like, oh man, I'm not even gonna say his name, but a Fall River cat, man. Like his first lawsuits to learn the law were just comical, bro. Like I was laughing my ass. I'm reading it in the law library, like, yo, this dude really did say that. Just like I was laughing. He's like,
Yeah,
I
no,
just
for
can't even
sure.
repeat it because it's just so it's hilarious, but it's like I can't even repeat it because it's gonna put somebody on the spot. But I'm not. But it just you can be crazy. Put it this way: Fah-Tee filed lawsuits.
Yeah.
Yeah, Fah-Tee
He's,
filed lawsuits, and he's kind of crazy. He's lost his
yeah.
damn mind. Matter of fact, I think anybody who wants to rape old women and can't calm down enough for like 10 minutes of their life to get out of DDU is crazy to me. You know what I mean? Like, so
Nah,
you have to be a crazy piece of shit to be able to like even do what he does. Yeah, I mean he did. You know, and
nah, and not only that, man, like from what I was hearing about my cousin Maddie, when they were locked up together in '01 and before Skin Tight got shipped out, this was like 90, like '01 or 2000 or 2001 around there. Fah-Tee was, he just got in to Cedar John. He got into Walpole because I guess he did some faulty stuff, bro. I guess he did. I spoke to you about it. I'm not gonna mention the guy's name.
mm,
When he did that, I guess he was like in I guess I don't know if he was in OCC or or Concord. I don't know but I heard he did that, and that's what classified his ass to send him back to Walpole. And at that time, they just sent Skin Tight back from when he did what he did in New Hampshire. You know what I'm saying? So they sent him back, and pretty much Skin Tight was pretty much had the unit on lock. My cousin was telling me, he was like, bro, he didn't allow Fah-Tee to do none of that shit, man.
So that's another thing, bro. I forgot about that, right? So Skin Tight had Fah-Tee in check about that rape and shit, bro. The R, I'm sorry,
Yeah,
not I didn't mean to say that. About the Ring, the other convicts, because he didn't play that shit, but someone Skin Tight was he never had sex offenses, right?
no, hell no.
Yeah, he's a straight up he was a convict. You can't take
Yeah,
nothing away from Skin Tight. He was a savage, bro.
yeah,
He
no,
was a savage. He was a warrior. He stuck up for his people. That's about what I would do.
yeah, no, he wasn't with none of that, bro. As far as I know, I've talked to a few people and they said no, that dude wasn't with none of that, bro. And
He just was on the opposite side. That's all. You know what I mean? He
yeah,
was on the opposite side as us. I mean, I can see, I get it. I don't, I'm not like his best friend, and I'm not like sitting here saying like I would be. I think I'd have a mutual respect with him. No, why not? I think I could be like talk to him on here. I would love to get him on my channel and get his point of view because honestly, he's a legend. He's a
yeah,
certified legend. You can't take that away from him. You can't.
no, and one thing I heard about him, he gives adversaries their respect. You know what I'm saying? He ain't, he's not that type of guy that think he's above and beyond everybody else. He gives his adversaries because he did get, he as from what I would hear, he did face a few oppositions and he did have to, what I'm saying, you know, give them their respect. You know what I'm saying? From what I hear, he's a thorough dude, and the fact that he respects his adversaries as far as being real and demonstrating violence. But yeah, bro, not only my cousin told me about it, one of my homies, Dragon, he did time up there, and Asian guy, he told me, he was like, nah, Fah-Tee wasn't with that when Skin Tight was in the unit, bro. He was like,
And real quick, someone wanted to say, what's Skin Tight's real name again?
James Skinner.
James Skinner. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
James
James.
Skinner.
Yeah, yeah,
He he I heard he has records of bench pressing in Norfolk from what I heard. You
yeah.
know,
Big ones, big
yeah.
ones.
I dudes I heard he's still even though he's 62 years old, bro, I heard he's still pounding damn near almost 400 pounds.
Yeah, I could see it. There's a lot of them old school cats that, like I said, bro, are still mad strong, bro.
Yeah, so I wouldn't doubt it.
Everybody who's watching, can you please hit the like button for me real quick? There's only 20 likes on here, and there's 30 people watching right now, so you should at least have 30 likes. And then everybody else who watches this after that, please hit that shit. Thank you very much. Um, yeah, bro.
And another thing I wanted to ask you, Maddie, you know what I'm saying? Because, my cousin was telling me about it. He was like, not all the CEOs that were up there at that time, he said not all of them were pricks. He was like, a lot of them, were good. Some of them were thorough dudes, that came in and did their 8 hours and went home, you know what I mean? But there was a few of them that, you know, especially, the dudes from from Boston. A few COs that were from Boston. A lot of these rural towns. A lot of them were a bunch of asses too. I'm like, damn. I'm like, damn. I didn't not because I thought everybody, especially out here, since they're not, it's not a country, setting. I wouldn't, I thought the COs would be a little bit more, a little bit more lax. So I just wanted to ask you, but ask the people that did time in the DOC, like Massachusetts, how was that? Because out there in Cali, like I said, they're racist, bro.
So how are the COs?
Yeah,
So let me just tell you, right? The COs out here, I feel like COs are universal. You put on a badge, you go into a prison, you're dealing with the same type of pressures, and human beings are not as much different from each other as we would like to think. So I believe that they act pretty much the same. They're racist. They stick together. They will lie for each other. They'll beat the brakes off you, especially in Walpole. If you go to Walpole, I've seen them pull guys down into the church unit or where the church is to do strip searches. If you are walking through the hallway and you give the cop an attitude, or you look at him crazy, or you give someone daps and they say, "What'd you do?" or something, and they pull you down into the church wing to strip search you. When you're taking your shirt off, they're punching your dick loose. Like, they fucked up like 7 people in 1 month when I was there. And I'm talking about bloody, dragging them down the hallway, blood dripping down their face. Like, they got this good ass Muslim dude, right? He was a cool ass dude. He was just chill as hell, didn't bother anybody, straight up dude, good paperwork. Like, he was a cool dude, bro. And he went to Muslim services. And when he was leaving there, he seen someone in the hallway, gave him a fist bump. And the cop got up in his face and was like, "Yo, what the fuck did you just do?" And he's like, I just see my boy. He said, I gave him I gave him a fist bump. He's like, no. He's like, "What the fuck's in your hand?" He's like, "Nothing's in my hand." He's like, "Go down this hallway right here." And he wouldn't go down the hallway because he knew. And they're like, "Go in this." They pushed him into the where they did the services, the Muslim services. And
right.
right there inside the door, as soon as he got in there, locked the doors and stomped him out, dude. I'm like, yo, that's some foul shit, bro. Like, didn't even try to hide it. Like, they locked the doors behind him and then stomped him out. The kid's standing there like, "Yo, why are you locking the doors?" He like, they're like, "Shut up, kid." Like, that shit was fuck crazy, bro. I just don't understand. In Massachusetts, some cops get away with murder. Yeah. Yup.
Damn,
Yup.
damn.
But people, they do get smashed out on the regular though. Like, there's no like retribution from the cops that will stop them from getting beat up. Like, they'll come and shake the place down, take everybody's stuff, but they get stabbed, they get beat up, they get diced up. It's the same shit everywhere, I feel like. You know what I mean? Like, as far as the prison system goes, when it comes to the COs and how they treat people, they don't like to give you extra trays. They don't like to give you toilet paper. They don't like to give you toothbrushes, because if they have to get up and move, it's like a chore. Like they don't get paid to do that or something. And in Massachusetts, they're making 250 grand a year, like on overtime and all
Yeah,
that. So,
bro. I was about to get into that, man. Them dudes is making bank. I'm like,
yeah.
bro, these dudes damn near getting paid with murder, to murder your ass, bro. Like, shit. I don't know about out here, but out there, they don't do no warning shots when they're in the gun towers, dog. They say no warning shots. You kick off something, you're getting killed.
Really?
Oh, yeah. No, they say it, bro. Like, you could look it up, in the California Department of Corrections, bro. There's like, if when they're in the gun tower, there is no warning shots. They have a M16 up there. They're pecking your head off.
Wow. And have
Yeah.
you seen that happen or heard of that happening?
No, like I said, I didn't make it up that way. But even in the county jails, they do got gun towers up there, and it says no warning shots. You know what I'm saying? But I've heard about it. When riots would kick off, they would try to make, like, when something was about to pop off, they try to make sure it was right next to the gun tower. But like
Mm.
I said, they surround the whole yard, so there's a gunman in each and every one of those corners, especially one of those posts. So whenever something was to go down, bro, you're gonna get hit, because there's no, like I said, it says no warning shots. You kick off something, and my G's like Top Cat and them, they did time in San Quentin in '79 and '80 when it was hectic back in those days. When the wars were going off between the factions, the Big Four and the Bloods and the Crips, going, being added into that. Bro, they say he said it. He saw a lot of a lot of people get shot, and mainly it was white racist CEOs shooting blacks and Mexicans.
That's nuts.
Yeah, and it's still like that today, Matty. There's no warning shots, and now inside the prisons they have tasers now, and
Yeah.
now they have a body camera on. And from what I heard, the governor's trying to make the CEOs out there carry. I guess carry whenever they go somewhere to carry it's like a shot. It's like a beanbag shotgun. Them shits hurt. Them damn things hurt, bro. When they hit you, it could stop an elephant, bro. How hard that comes out. It could break a rib if it hits you. If it hits you on your face, you're not getting up.
You know what's crazy is they want to get those out here in Massachusetts. So after this last thing that happened with the COs out here, they
Yeah, I
put in a
heard
big
about that.
petition. They're trying to get bean bags. They're trying to get paintball guns. They're trying to get taser guns, all that right on the unit. So if they gave, this is what would happen if they gave the cops out here some shit like that, is you would get what you got in California. You'd get those racist cops hitting the black dudes and the Spanish dudes, but they don't give a fuck. If those cops up there knew that they would get in trouble if they hit a black dude or a Spanish dude, they would just shoot white dudes instead. They'd be like, yeah, whatever. We can't get away with the blacks and Spanish, so let's hit the white dudes. Fuck those guys. Like, honestly, like they just don't give a fuck, bro. I really don't think they do. Word. You there? Yo. Yeah, I guess I don't know what happened, but my boys kind of disappeared on me. I'm alone anyways, guys. So this gives me a chance to talk to the chat real quick while he comes back or whatever he's doing. Yo, do they pump those beanbag guns? Yo, so Lynn, he just said that they'll shoot you with, they got all kinds of guns out there. It's nuts. It is all about the money. Yep, it is all about the money. Fact. Especially in those private jails, those private counties and shit. Like, fact. Yeah, I will as soon as he comes back, Sully. I don't know where he went. I don't know if I have him on mute by accident. Let me check the thing. Hey, there you are. All right. Hey.
You can hear me?
Yeah, I don't know what happened. So
yeah, my bad, bro. I lost service there for a little bit, but I could hear you. I was here. I was able to hear you. I just couldn't been able to make out what you were. I couldn't respond back.
Hey, so my friend wants to know first, do they pump those beanbag guns? Are they like shotguns? They pump them?
Yeah, bro. They're like it's manufactured in a weird way, man. But they're pretty much just loaded like pretty much like nudged inside the gun, and once that fires off, bro, it's so I seen them like use them on people, bro. It sounds like a cannon going off. Once it hits you, bro, you're not getting up. Once it hits you, it's just like neutralize you wherever it hits.
Yeah, it sparks to it. There's a spark to it. Like I've seen them get shot off before. They're like a shotgun blast. It's got gunpowder and shit. It's just a beanbag instead of a slug.
Yeah, me whenever like I would see them, bro, I would tell the homies, I'm like, bro, do not pop off unless we need to, because bro, they're gonna beat us up, and we're not gonna win against these dudes. Like I would tell them, like whatever, don't even look at them. Like whenever they would ask you something, don't even say nothing. I would, what I mean, don't even talk to them. Don't say nothing to these dudes. Like
So
if they,
that's a whole different type of ball game, bro. You're facing life or death if you get into a fight in the yard.
oh yeah, without a doubt. So you just pretty much got to just be moving back and forth. You know what I'm saying? Like the G homies, like they would like teach you like what to do. Like if you're fighting off, never stay in the same spot. Just move and roll. Even her homies will roll on the ground.
And so you get into a fucking fist fight, they'll kill you.
Oh yeah, because usually fist fights, combined with people, homies have knives inside their hand.
Man,
So
I'm gonna have a knife. Why not? I'm gonna
yeah,
die for a fist fight. I might as well just go for the kill the first shot.
bro, and they do have M16s up there, bro. They're not trying to play with you. When it hits you, you're dead.
M16s, huh? Isn't that a little bit overkill for a fucking prison yard with
Bro,
with unarmed, well,
bro,
technically unarmed?
California, it's a whole different ball game, bro. Bean bags, bro. Like if the CEOs out here, I'm gonna tell you right now, Matty, if the CEOs out here get bean bags, like shotgun bean bags,
It's gonna be ugly.
you're not, the inmates are not gonna be able to do nothing, bro. Because once that hits you, bro, I remember one time I'm on the, I'm looking down the tier. I'm like, oh, I heard the rumbling on the floor. There's one dude from a certain crip set, what I'm saying, that was acting big dude, bro. He about 6'6". We called him Lurch. About 6'6", 320 pounds.
Mm.
Huge. Bro, he was acting off because he's like, nah, I'm not going nowhere. He was like, no, you have to. I guess, bro, the minute these dudes came in, he saw them beam, bro, he looked, bro, when they hit him with it, bro, he damn near, he was a big dude. He flew back. You heard the impact when he landed behind on the wall, bro. Boom, and he landed. And when he tried to get up, they hit him with another one, bro, and it broke two of his ribs, and he was down. But I'm
Damn.
like, if they get that out here, because from what I was hearing, if they was to get that out here, bro, there's inmates are not gonna be able to do nothing to these dudes.
Yo, I mean, we are resistant out here though. I'm telling you, man. I feel like people really sleep on that. Is like say for instance, right? They try to do standing for count. We were lying under our beds. We would hide behind the toilets and hide behind the door, put the curtain up, and we would never stand for count. They would keep us locked down for a month for that shit. Like just because we won't stand for count, we don't stand for count in the max still. Like when they do the double bunking, like we rioted for almost a year. You know what I mean? Like there was people like myself. I would not give in. I did not want to give up and take a double cell. So I continued to fight until I was the second to last person. And then it was my best friend, basically, who was the last person. And they forced us in together and we fought each other a couple times. And it kind of breaks my heart, bro. You know what I mean? Like my buddy Sean Fritz, he's doing a life sentence from Charlestown. Good dude. Shout out to Sean Fritz, but they forced us in together. He was the last person I fought in the double bunking shit. And we fought twice and it sucked because it's like, yo, when I went in the door, I'm like, Sean, I don't want to fight you, bro, because I got a lot of love for you, bro. He's an older guy too. He's not older. He was like 36 when I was 24 or something like that, 23. And fucking he's like, Maddie, we got to. He's like, I don't even care. He's like, just do what you got to do. He knew I was gonna wipe him down, but I just had to I wiped him down. Wipe him down, bro. They make you. If you halfway fight, they'll walk away. And then you're known as someone who took a double bunk. So it's
Yeah,
like, yeah, you gotta fight. Like they make you fight your friends. It was human cockfighting. It was the most illegal thing. And it was like third world country in there when it was like that. You know what I mean? Like that shit's fucked up, bro.
there was a one particular CEO over there, bro, that even the bro nobody would mess with because he was just he was like a juggernaut. Not only because, but he would tell he would congregate and he would say he was like, any one of y'all don't do what I tell y'all. He was like, I'm gonna make sure your mother go see you in a coffin, bro. He would, and he would, yeah, bro. He said it. He was like, he was like, I would repeatedly shoot you with this damn beanbag till you're unconscious. He was like,
Wow.
if, yeah, bro. And he said it. He was like, and if I ever see you in a state prison, he was like, I'm gonna make sure I peck you in the head and say that the gun went off. Like,
Damn.
bro, yeah, like whenever he would go in the unit, we would tell him like, bro, let's just not make it hard. Like, you know what I'm saying? Let's just, because we losing money. Another thing, if you go at it with the guards and there's money being made in the unit, you're gonna get moved on by somebody from your faction.
Really?
Yeah, because if you mess, especially if the Southsiders are in there and they got money going on, and you want to fight them and you want to fight the guards, you're gonna get green lighted by you know who. There's a lot of money in there's a lot when especially there's a lot of money being made, and you mess up somebody's money, and without letting them know, then you're gonna go off on the guard, so they could not like lose money when in the process. You're gonna get hit.
So is the violence really bad? This is for my boy Sully. I forgot to ask. Is the violence really, really bad out there, or is it kind of like only happens when it needs to happen?
It happens when it needs to happen, but it's usually happening within, like I said, it's not happening between factions anymore. It's happening, within their own. You know what I'm
Mm,
saying? Like, like let's say the Bloods have somebody who's not good, then they're gonna remove them. Like as far as that, yeah. But as far as with different factions, like I said, the end of all hostilities came into play within different factions, so they're not warring against each other.
mm.
You know what I
Okay.
mean?
Yo, I appreciate you for showing up tonight. It's about my time to go.
For sure.
Yo, if you ever want to come back on again, bro, I love to talk California prison politics with you
For
or
sure.
anything, bro. So, I appreciate you for showing up tonight. Make sure you reach out to Skin Tight. Also, make
Yeah.
sure you reach out to hey, I don't know, Lewis Alves, why your comments are not popping up in the YouTube chat on the bottom, but it's popping up on my StreamYard shit. I have no idea what the fuck is going on with my YouTube, bro. Shit's pissing me the fuck off because certain people are leaving comments in the chat and it's not even showing up, but I can see it over here. So,
Right.
Lewis, salute to you. It's not me. Yeah, fuck the cops for real. But yo, I hope everybody enjoyed the show tonight. If you guys have a super chat that you would like to drop before we go, I'll give you 5 minutes to do so, and then we're gonna wrap it up. But it's like, if you really want to support the channel, I appreciate it. You already know, man, I do this shit for myself, but I also do it for you. It's my passion. It's everything to me, like just getting these stories out there and creating great content, real content of like fire content, official shit. Like not that fugazi ass shit that's flying all over the place right now. Like we shouldn't even put up with it. We should watch
That part.
channels like this, support channels like this.
Hell yeah.
You know what I mean? Why support anything less? Make sure it's official. Like, bro, supporting a channel like this, you could help, represent a population of people who are not heard in the headlines. We don't get any recognition if it's not from us. This is a place for outcasts and misfits. We're
That
all
part.
outcasts and misfits, and I love it, bro. This is for you here. This is us. This is our thing, man. So let's represent, bro. Let's, you know what I mean? If it is what it is, but like Bobby said, what's next is what you make it.
That part.
Shout out
Nah,
to the
that
Bounce
part.
Back podcast, right?
That part. And I was gonna ask you, Maddie, before you wrapped up.
Yep.
Like we had a few CEOs out there, you know what I'm saying, that were, like I said, it were thorough, you know what I'm saying, that would tell us like, yo, don't kick off no shit while I'm here, bro. I'm trying to go home. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? Do it on somebody else's ship that ain't shit. You know what I'm saying? And we would laugh about it. We were like, yo, look at this dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, but we respected him the fact that he came up to us. He's like, I don't even want to know what y'all got on. I don't care what y'all got on. I don't know what y'all got to do, what y'all doing, but don't kick off no shit while I'm here, man. I want to go, do my 8 hours and go to the crib. And not only that, there was a few of them that had relatives who were, affiliated. And, you know what I'm saying? We respected that. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're not going to, the fact that he was affiliated with a certain individual. But even though, like, if something was to come off, that wouldn't even come into play. But, you know what I'm saying? We were like, all right, we respect you as a man. You know what I'm saying? You came up to us and told us, yo, like, no king, no shit. You don't want to know what's going on. Just, y'all got something going on, do it on another person's shift. You know what I'm saying? So, that's usually what would happen. You know what I mean? Like when a good dude like that would come in and be like, all right, you good, all right, cool. He was like, y'all don't mess, y'all keep doing what y'all doing. I do my 8 hours and I'm out of here. Y'all don't have to worry about me. We
Right.
respected that.
Yep. Absolutely. I mean, I respect any CEO that comes into work and does his thing, treats everybody like a human being, and goes home. That's a good man right there. Honestly.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And don't get me wrong, there was a few of them that, they were good dudes, but said like, bro, don't, you know, one of them went inside of a dude's cell and fought him.
Mm.
Yeah, fought him. And he's like, homie, well, whenever you in the street, I'll see you again. And I'm like, yo, look at, we were like, look at this motherfucker, you know what I'm saying? Look at this nigga, you know what I'm saying? Taking off, you know what I'm saying? Like but if it would have went down a little bit more, we would have, did what we had to do. Because at the end of the day, it's still protocol, you know what I'm saying? But, if at the end of the day, we all respected the fact that, he said something wrong to him, so he deserved to get his ass whooped, and we didn't give a shit about him. You know what I'm saying? But a good CEO, you know what I'm saying, that this is no diss to the good CEOs out there. You know what I'm saying? If you got to do your job, and that's cool. Just treat everybody with respect, homie. Like you got probably family members that are misfits too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely. Yo, thank out to Flacco for the $2 super chat, bro. I appreciate that.
That
Absolutely.
part.
Hell yeah. That part for sure. I like that. That's the California slang right there.
Yeah.
Oh shit, man. Yeah, bro. Fall River, you know. Oh snap. Oh, my girl just became a member to the channel. Now she can read my daily posts, bro. I gotta change them now. Can't put any
Yeah.
more of that other stuff. I'm just playing with you.
You trying to get in trouble, bro?
Yo, she's about to beat my ass. She's abusive, bro. She beats me all the time anyway.
Nah, it was an honor, man, and a privilege, bro, to be able to, to share, share some type of, wisdom. Not only that, just share contact about what goes on out there. Like I said, I only reached the bottom level, man. I'm trying to see if I could get somebody else, reputable from, from out that way that has more experience, bro. Because like I'm only at the bottom of the barrel, man. There's many, many, many more certified, G's that went everywhere, man, and are in good standings with everybody, in their own neighborhood and everywhere they go. But I'm gonna work, hopefully get somebody on here so you guys could be able to pick their brain and ask them even better questions. You know what I'm saying? Because I could only go so far, but I know a lot of G's that have the level of stories and experiences that they have eclipsed mine by like 20 million times. So
Mm,
I'm able to do that from, with Maddie, man, because Maddie's a good dude, and able to be able to give that to you guys. You know what I'm saying? Get a real reputable on here from that out that way that be able to share some experiences with you guys.
word. Hell yeah. And I appreciate it, bro. You did a really good job, bro, explaining, getting the details, and you have a great memory. Also, shout out to Ramita Green, which I think is my boy Bill Green. One of my viewers sent me a $5 cash app
Shout
just
out
now.
to him too, yeah, for sure.
Shout out, fact. I appreciate that. Every fucking penny counts, every single penny, bro. And I'm trying to save it all up right now so that I could buy some equipment. And I'm gonna start a vlog, and it's gonna be called I don't know what it's gonna be called exactly yet, but I'm thinking like the vlogs of an ex-convict, and it's really gonna follow me around. I'm gonna have somebody, I'm trying to employ them to follow me around, and it's gonna be about my journey from the bottom all the way to the top. So it's becoming a winner, going from a loser
That
to a
part.
winner. I'm going from no job right now, out of prison, learning how to live. My girl's teaching me how to live. This is my passion. This is my what I do. This is my dream. So let this explode. And I don't need one, but I would love to get one and just start my life off. I'm hitting the gym every single day, but I'm not hitting the gym as hard as I want to. I want to hit the gym and like go hard like I did in prison, like have a goal to be in the best shape of my life and actually do it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start a vlog, and I'm going to help. I'll let everybody follow me on my journey through life and getting extremely in shape. And like I said, I go to the gym every day. It's just I'm half-assing everything in life. I want to do everything absolute 100 for the first time ever. Like I want to go the extra mile for myself. And so I'm gonna let you guys watch while I do it. Mark my words that I'm saving up right now in order to get that done. I'm trying to do it sooner rather than later so I can get the whole journey in there. So whatever help I can get, that's what it's going towards. So but I appreciate everybody for showing up tonight. Shout out to my guest, man. Great guest. Hope
That part,
everybody
man.
yup. You can say your respects. Anything you want to say before you go, bro?
Yeah, man. Just stay thorough. Stay grounded. Don't be shy. Way to say, to tell the ones that your loved ones that you love them, and just stay positive, man. And peace and love, bro.
Absolutely, bro. I appreciate it. One more question, real quick. My
Yeah.
friend Louis Alves wanted to know, and he's a paying member, so I like to answer these questions. He said, "What's the fellas doing now to maintain after all the pain and time and setbacks?"
Well, I can speak for a few of them. You know what I'm saying? A lot of them, learn the trades. You know what I'm saying? Learn the trades while they were in the state penitentiary. That's one good thing I can say about the CDC out there. That they do give them trades, and once they come out, they already got they could go for their journeyman license and be able to make a living out there, bro. Plumbers out there, HVAC guys, electricians, and carpenters and painters and mechanics out there, but mainly the trades, bro. They're making over 100 racks a year, just starting. So the majority of them, that's usually what they lean towards too. usually like the youngsters, they, majority of them, they want to start rapping and whatnot and getting into the computer engineering and stuff like that. So that's usually the route that the younger ones do. But mainly the old, like the OGs, that's usually they rely on the trades, you know what I mean, to start providing for their family once they touch down.
Okay. Word. I appreciate it. And my friend Corso, another viewer, said he appreciates you answering the questions. And as do I. Like again, much respect. I appreciate you for showing up tonight. I'm gonna end the live right now, but man, salute, bro. Salute
That
to
part.
everybody in the chat. All right, bro.
All right, brother. Peace.
All right, peace, brother, man. Thank you. Much love. W number. Ow.